How long does a foreclosure process take in Ohio? In this video, we're going to show you exactly how long it takes and what you need to do if there is a foreclosure process being handled in Ohio. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. We're going to show you that. Whether you're being foreclosed on or you are the foreclosee, there's a lot of ways to make money. I love Ohio. Pay attention to this because this is good. Oh, by the way, stick around to the end, thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff. I'm going to show you a way. Well, I've got a little gift for you. Let's just put it that way, okay? So let's talk about this. Okay, let's talk about the foreclosure process in Ohio. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're the one being foreclosed on, let me give you a nickel's worth of advice that'll go a long way. Don't bury your head in the sand, okay? Look, getting a hold of the lender is the best thing you can do the sooner you do this, okay? The sooner they know what's going on. That doesn't accelerate anything. The process is going to be the same, and I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me explain a couple of things. First of all, the lenders don't want the property, okay? They're willing to work with you on this. As a lender, I know this. What I don't want to do is I don't want to find somebody's in a situation and now we're 2 or 3 months into it, and that's a bigger hole to dig out of than had they talked about at the beginning. Had they talked about the beginning, I could have said, hey, let's alleviate this for 90 days. Let's put that on the back. It's called a loan modification. I can do a lot of things, which takes the pressure off the borrower in the first place because they told us what was going on. Now they can concentrate on the emergency or even tragedy in some situations out there that's going on. So you see how this can help you. Don't be the person that puts your head in the sand. There's a lot, and the banks will work the same way. It's not just because of me. Again, let's talk about banks. Banks are regulated, okay? So the feds are watching everything that's 30, 60, 90, 120 days late. They know because this is what they call a leading indicator. This is a leading indicator on where things are going. They know for a fact that if somebody is 30 or 60 days late, okay, if they don't talk about it, the chances of them going into foreclosure and losing the property for every day that they're gone late beyond the 60th day go up substantially. Okay, if a person contacts them in the beginning, the chances of there being a loan modification done in the early parts of the deal also go up dramatically. So all of these things are what you would call it leading indicators. So the feds are looking at this going, is this bank in trouble? Did they make a lot of loans that they shouldn't have because we, the taxpayers, might have to bail that bank out? That's why this stuff is so important to understand and understand how the banks handle this stuff. Okay, so understand that. Now, let's just talk about it. Once you're late 30 days, that's when in Ohio, they can start sending out notifications. Now, the NOD, Notice of Default. All that does is when you kick in a notice of default and you send it out, you're kind of starting the clock, if you will. Okay, you've been late for 30 days. We haven't heard from you. Now the clock's ticking. That kicks in a 90-day window where you can go in and try to work something out. That's that loan modification I talked about, or deed in lieu of foreclosure, judicial foreclosure, or I got to walk away from the property. Something so bad happened, whatever that case might be. That's that window that you'd want to do that. Now, don't fault the lender for doing that. If they don't follow procedures, they can't move on. So at the end of everything, in the state of Ohio, if you foreclose on a property due to not paying a debt, a mortgage, a secondary note, or what have you, it's about 6 to 9 months if they do everything correctly, okay? The reason it can go longer is because of maybe the courts are tied up a little bit. In that, they could be delayed, or to be honest with you, the borrower is buried and they're not doing paperwork correctly or on time. So keep those in mind. Those are some of the things that you're looking at with that. Now, if you are the bank and you are foreclosing, meaning you're lent some money on that money, make sure you do your paperwork. Make sure that everything is filed on time. That doesn't mean you're going to take the property back. It just means that you're following the procedures. You know, when you hear these horror stories out there where they're like, oh my gosh, we don't want to do this. It takes so long. You know, the eviction process, you're not evicting somebody the first day, for crying out loud. It takes a long time before that happens. But once the foreclosure has gone through all of those processes, you get the NOD, notice of default, then you've got the sheriff's sale, and all of those things are done. You know, really to evict somebody out of the property only takes a few weeks. But there's months and months and months that have happened before that whole process. Really what you want to do is you want to work with the property owner to make sure that's happening. Now, if you're buying a tax deed in Ohio, be careful. Okay, not because it's bad. I love Ohio. Okay, but all you're doing at that point is you're not foreclosing. It's already been done. Now what you have to do is you have to clean the title. Okay, think of a little whiteboard and there's a bunch of old loans and liens against that property, and all you're doing is scrubbing that clean. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to research the area. You want to make sure that this is the area that you want a property in, and you want to make sure that property is that you do want the property. So I'm going to look at this property and go, okay, here's a property, we'll just make something up, that's in a $250,000 area. They're delinquent on $30,000 in back taxes, again, just making it up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be looking at this property and going, based on everything in the area, it's worth $230,000 that are just like it, that's fixed up. I got to assume this property's not. So I'm going to go into my software and I'm going to say, flooring, kitchen, bathrooms, level of grade. Is this low grade, medium, or high end? Quality of appliances. I mean, this is a wolf range over there. I'm not going to put a wolf range in a property that I'm trying to, unless it's a really high end property. So now that I've got an understanding of how much money I've got into this whole property, on that gives me a good indication of where I can be in the property when I go to bid on it. So now I bid on the property, but understand in Ohio, I'm at the end of the foreclosure process. Okay, so the county's foreclosed on the property due to delinquent property taxes, and now they've sent out the notifications, the notice of default, they've done the 90 days, pay it off, but in the case of back taxes, you got one choice, and one choice only: either pay the taxes plus the penalties to the county, or you're losing the property. And understand that this didn't happen in 60, 90, 120 days. This is literally a minimum of 4 years, okay? So I'm not sneaking in behind anybody. They've been delinquent for a long time. And does the county need that money? Yeah. Okay, you get number one, you've got schools. Okay, that's going to be about 55 to 65% of all county income from property taxes. Then you've got law enforcement, fire department, hospitals, and the list goes on and on. The county can't just go in there and start printing more money. This is the only way they get their money. And if you and I weren't willing to put up that money in the interim to make that happen, the county would have no choice but to foreclose on it immediately. Okay, so there's not another debt out there that you can be this delinquent on and nothing happens. So keep that in mind. So as far as the timing on a foreclosure for the state of Ohio, you're going to be looking at anywhere from about 4 to 7 months. Okay, it really depends on you. How quickly that paperwork and efficient, if the person's responding or not. All of those are the court, how busy the courts are going to be factors in whatever that is. Okay. Now, as far as evicting, that's a really simple process. I'm telling you, evicting is not really difficult. At this point, they've been notified multiple times. The property has gone into foreclosure, and there's not going to be a municipality in the most normal states out there that is not going to kick them out immediately. It's more of those, New York, California that have those problems. Ohio is not one of those. If you don't make the payments on that, and it goes through the judicial foreclosure, eviction's going to happen. Here's the great thing about that. There's ways to help the property owner out. There's ways to help the lender out. There's ways to help the county out. This is what I call a triple win all the way around. And there's a lot you need to know before you can make big money in Ohio. I'll show you exactly how to do that. All you have to do is go down to my link below. I've got a brand new course on this. Okay, go to higginsmethod.com or just click on the link down below. Fill out the information. My gift to you, it's free. Go through that course and learn how to make some money for you and your family. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. We'll see you out there.